All right, everybody, welcome to the second. Oh, the audio is way too loud. Let's switch that up. There we go. All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the Second Dimension Live. It has been so long since I've done a live stream. I think the last time I did one was like when Dan Pavmeyer came on the show. So it has been a hot minute, and I'm excited to be back. True Colors is just absolutely crazy. And okay, so there's going to be spoilers during the stream, just so you know. So if you haven't watched the episode, don't watch this stream if you don't want spoilers. But we're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about the reveals. We're going to talk about the season 3 theme song, and just talk about what we think of the episode. So I'm going to want to hear from you. I'm going to be reading the comments. We're going to start discussion, and it's just going to be a good time. I think I want to go for about an hour-ish, depending on how the conversation goes. There's no game. There's no special guest this time. This is just kind of a good way for us to get reacquainted after the channel rebrand, and me to get used to live streaming again, because that was so much fun when I did that last year, and I really want to get back into doing live streams. So, with all of that out of the way, I'm going to change up a few things on my computer, just so that I can read the chat easier. Yes, Dancing in the Rain, first live stream as the Second Dimension. I'm so excited for it. What happened to the First Dimension? So I get this question a lot. The First Dimension is like reality, and I kind of call it Dimension 1 at the end of every episode. And the Second Dimension is where we talk about cartoons. And that's kind of the First Dimension is what you're seeing right now. The actual Second Dimension is the videos where I'm a character. So technically this is a First Dimension video. I gotta work out the lore. Maybe we'll have lore episodes in the future, I don't know. Alright, let's see. Somebody says I can't watch True Colors because Australians don't have Disney Channel anymore. We only have Disney Plus, which doesn't have Season 3. Okay, so Season 3 is not out yet, and Season 2 should be on Disney Plus pretty soon. I don't know how they're releasing it in Australia, but yeah, it should be there soon, and there's also places to watch it in the Amphibia Discord that they have. If so, then big. Oh yeah, so Bill's truck in the intro, or in the end of Amphibia Season 1. So big city is Los Angeles. Yes. Can people hear me? Bugs Bunny can't hear me. Let me know if my audio is okay. I think like my side of it looks pretty good, but let me know if I need to turn it up a little bit. Mayel Ruiz, you're so excited that you recorded on VHS. That's awesome. I remember recording shows on VHS back when I was like really little. So excited. Been holding in your hype for 2 weeks. Yes, can't wait. True Colors has a 9.9 out of 10 on IMDb. That's fantastic. How did Grime not die when he got the hammer dropped on his face? Okay, I did think about, like, you make up Barrel's Warhammer to be this crazy, super powerful thing. Like he's gonna crush Andreas's head if it hits his head, and he gets hit on the face twice, and it doesn't affect him. So yeah, I agree that. I mean, it was good for the gag, but yes. Let's see. So I liked how Anne has the powers come to her from connecting to the blue gem. I hope that in the next season we will see Sasha connect to the red gem and get. I think they will save Marcy and Sasha's powers for the end of Season 3. Like when you see in the prophecy in the background of the intro with all three of them fighting the beast, I think that's going to be end of Season 3 because, and I've seen a lot of people talk about this, Marcy's death has to be meaningful, right? So she's not going to be alive or like, an active character in most of Season 3. It's going to really focus on Sasha and Anne and just their journeys in Amphibia and on Earth. And Marcy is going to be kind of a pawn, and I assume what happens with her will be very plot-based based off the new intro. Let's see. Highest rated episode for all seasons, yes. You're guessing 2D, Second Dimension means 2D animation. Yes, that is kind of the idea. That's why I haven't talked about any 3D animation as of yet, but I do have my second channel the third dimension. If you haven't subscribed to it, I upload random stuff there. And so, yeah, the third dimension. Let's see. Oh, thank you for the shout out, Pad Paradsha. So now I'm thinking the leaves and twigs are an expression of Anne's music box powers. That could be true. Yeah, honestly, the foreshadowing of her always having the branch in her hair, and then the branches kind of grow out when she gets the powers. I would agree with that. Yeah. Let's get a shout out to Polly getting legs. Yes, Polly got legs. So good. There's such a fantastic moment where it looks like she just died. How will the series... I don't know. It's going to be so easy for the series finale to top this. Yeah, that's... I can only imagine, if the stakes were this high in this episode, how intense they're going to be in the last episode. Okay, let's see. You want Bill Cipher in Season 3? Yes, that would be really cool. My favorite part of the new intro is seeing Anne's family and the Planters living together. That's going to be so much fun. I don't know how they're going to balance so many characters. I thought they would cop out with saying Polly gets legs. No, they're always gonna give Polly legs. Sound sounds good. Okay. Sweet. Let me try and bring the mic a little bit closer. It's a little quiet. Still keep it out of frame. There we go. I have cartoon power on my side. Yes. Grime has Calamity Box powers secretly. That's why the hammer glowed pink when he held it. Grime is secretly a descendant of that one other frog that's King Andrias' friend who inhabited the pink Calamity gem. That's the confirmation. Okay, history explained. Bill Cipher was in that book. Marcy was in... Yes, Bill Cipher was in that book, Triangle Boy, and I think I want to talk about Dr. P. Dr. P's book, Guide to the Extraordinary. I don't think it was an accident that any of this happened. I mean, let's be real. For Marcy to see that in the book the same day, and then for her to see it later, like, I'm sus of that librarian who accidentally dropped the book. It could be a frog in disguise who wanted Marcy to find it. But just the odds of that happening are really weird. And why would the music box end up in an antique shop anyways? Somebody had to put it there. And if you notice, the little cabinet that it's sitting on has the little frog symbol on it. So that's very interesting. And I will be curious to see where they go with that. Let's see. All right, I'm just trying to keep up with the comments here. There's about a 25-second delay. Have I seen the new theme song? Yes. I tweeted that I wanted more focus on Sasha over Marcy in Season 3. I did tweet about that. I said it felt like Sasha was getting sidelined a bit in Seasons 1 and 2, and she was. But yes, Season 2 is definitively the Marcy season. So that's good, and now we'll get a lot more Sasha in Season 3. Mr. Dimension, how do you feel when Marcy was looking at the book and it had Bill? Yes, I love the idea that Bill... We have two other Disney Channel shows have confirmed Bills, because we saw Bill Farmer's truck. Or no, sorry, not Bill Farmer, Bill Green. I'm thinking... My brain is all over the place, but yes. Bill Green and Bill Cipher are both canon to the Amphibia world, which is interesting. Maybe they'll put one of Polly's legs over Marcy's wound and that will heal her. How would putting Polly's legs over Marcy's wound heal her? I don't understand. Grime is a toad, so the hammer probably doesn't affect toads. That's true, because it is a legendary toad weapon. That would be interesting. They're going to stay with Anne's parents. They're going to be away with the frogs and get back to Amphibia with the Calamity Box and defeat the king. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good summary of Season 3. Will Marcy be controlled? I could see it. I could see King Andrias. Especially because, okay, so the creature with a bunch of eyes, right? We saw it in season 2, and it's in the season 3 intro. And the noises that it made when we saw it were like very computer-esque, like meow wow when it like booted up. So I think as a computer, it's like, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Oh yes, seeing the government track down the planters. That was part of the season 3 intro as well. That's gonna be interesting. Okay, and I know the Gladiator tweeted about this, but how are you gonna fit this into 20 episodes in season 3, right? Like, if you assume that there's like a hour-long series finale that gives you like 17 episodes to go through all of this, and you have to address so many things. You have to address, the fact that Marcy's parents are going to discover when Anne returns that Marcy is dead, and Sasha's parents are going to discover that Sasha's in another world, and Anne's parents are going to meet the planters, and they're going to have to live together, and there's so much emotional baggage that season 3 has to unpack. So when I see the shot of all the townspeople in Anne's town, it's like, are these characters going to get individual episodes where, like, we're going to meet everybody in her Earth town of Los Angeles? Like, I'm just, like, there's so much. How are they going to fit all this in? I hope it doesn't feel crowded, because then you still have to cover Andreas and Marcy's plot, and you have to cover Sasha and Grimes' plot with the people of Wartwood. You have, like, a cast of potentially 50 or 60 characters that you gotta balance. Don't think Marcy and Sasha will get powers to do their gems. Yeah. I think one of the big... Or, sorry, let me actually read the comment. I don't think Sasha and Marcy will get powers due to their gems being fully charged. I think one of the things we're going to figure out is why, when they opened the box, it actually transported them to Amphibia. Was it rigged so that when they opened it, they would automatically go to Amphibia to fulfill the prophecy? And, why, when Andreas uses it, do the gems not fully drain of charge? Like, how long does the charge last? Why did they lose their color when Anne, Marcy, and Sasha used them? Or would they only lose their color when the box is opened by people who could inhabit the powers? So I think we're going to get a lot of that lore in Season 3, but eventually I do think the other 2 gems will be drained and all of them will have their powers together. Do I think Marcy finding the book was a coincidence? No, I really don't. Polly's still cute? Yes. Anne is your favorite character. Anne might be my favorite character. I really like Sprig. And Grime, obviously. Maybe the hammer doesn't do damage to those who hold it. That's a good theory. What about Milo... What about Milo Murphy's Law Season 3? It's not happening in the next 5 years, and you can quote me on that. Wasn't it a reference? Yeah, Anne's old design did have blue hair. So there's definitely that aspect of it, which is really cool. Thoughts on parents' reaction to Anne? Oh, it's going to be a tear fest. The Season 3 premiere is going to deal with Sasha and Grimes seeing Marcy dead, and Andreas chasing them out of the kingdom, or trying to kill them as well, and the planters meeting Anne's parents, and Anne not having seen her parents for months. And it's going to be a tear fest. And yes, I'm not ready for it. Anne and Andreas merge to become Andreas, and they take over... What? This is the comment. Anne and Andreas merge to become Andreas, and they take over Newtopia as a singular entity. So, merging is not established in the lore yet. Also, just... What? Maybe the Barrel's Warhammer is like a Captain America shield thing. That's cool. How are Anne's parents going to react? There's going to be crying. Hot Pop will learn about the internet. That's a scary thought. Hot Pop is going to have to deal with social media. And that's going to be scary. Yes. I got Star Versus with them living in Anne's world. Yeah, but I think, and not to completely just diss Star Versus, but the show lost its identity a little bit when it switched to season three's focus on Muni, because it was, a fish out of water story, and then it wasn't. But I don't think that, because like Marco had already been to magical places when season three started, so it wasn't unusual for him to live in Muni. But with this, the planters have never experienced the human world, so you get reverse fish out of water, in addition to stories still in Amphibia with Grime and the citizens of Wartwood and Sasha. And so there's going to be a good balance of place, I hope, and you're still going to get that fish out of water vibe, and you're still going to get the relationship between Anne and the planters that the show is built around. Imagine they added a season 4. I think Matt, if he gets renewed for a season 4, he's going to take it, but the main story he's going to tell is only 3 seasons. So a 4th season would just feel like, oh, yeah, that's kind of extra. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through. It's going to be awkward. Yes, it's going to be very awkward telling Marcy's parents. I think in season 3, some of the first half of the episodes will be set on Earth, while the second half of the episodes will take place back in Amphibia. That would be really cool. If they did, like, every episode pair, half Amphibia, half Earth. That would be really neat and a really cool storytelling technique, and that would be great. Uh-oh, your daughter was stabbed fatally in the back. Yeah. I really am curious how Sasha's going to react to that. Triple C, welcome to the stream. It's no big deal. Yeah. I think the beast will be a fly because of the eyes. Ooh, like a mechanical fly. That could be interesting. Anne is going to need some therapy. Yes, Anne is definitely going to need therapy. Somebody put Robot Riot during the scene where they fight the robots. I mean, I don't want to take away from TJ Hill's score, because his score for that scene is impeccable. But it's a Robot Riot! Oh man, it's on. Did we? Okay, no, that's not Sprig's mom, because as far as we know, frogs don't live for 1,000 years regularly. So Andreas living for 1,000 years, I think, is due to the fact that he found something in one of the other worlds. Maybe it's the Boiling Isles. Maybe there's another world he went to where they found some sort of plant that allowed him to live for 1,000 years or something. Because even, like, nobody remembers all the bad stuff they did. Everything has changed. So, like, he's got to have something special that's keeping him alive for all of these years. So, and yes, that's not Sprig's mom, because Sprig's mom would not be thousands of years old. This is easily the best episode from any cartoon show I've ever seen, and I've seen some things. I don't know if I would say it's the best episode. It's really good, but like, I just can't say it's the best definitively yet. Music-wise, absolutely. I think the music from the episode is great, but I'm not ready to say it's the best cartoon episode ever yet. Do I think the planters will have powers now? No, I don't. Sprig's mom was definitely a little girl. No, that's not, again, Sprig's mom would not have lived for 1,000 years. That's not the normal in Amphibia. That's why everybody forgot about Andreas being a terrible leader. I didn't even get to more Marcy's death. The episode was over so quickly. I could see that as a legitimate complaint. I think that it's one of those where it's like, you wanted the double hit of, okay, Marcy dies. Well, you get Anne's powers, then Marcy dies, then you're in the human world. And that kind of triple hit of reveals is what sells the episode and makes it as good as it is. So, I also don't think Anne has processed the fact that Marcy died yet. So, we're going to get to see that in Season 3 as well. Sprig's... okay, the Sprig's ancestor, I think she took the box. But I don't think that... I don't think that was Sprig's mom. I think it was a longer ancestor. Which new intros did you enjoy more? The Owl House? Okay, Amphibia's new intro is a total game changer. the Owl House's new intro is like, it's really, really good, and the animation is so smooth and so pretty. They're both so good. It's hard to say. And I have watched The Owl House. I do want to talk about that in the future. Let's see. But yeah, I don't know which of those two I enjoy more. Bill Green. Okay, wow, so I'm just catching up to stuff from a while ago. Too many bills, yes. What if LA is near Danville? I could see a Phineas and Ferb crossover. Disney would be like, yeah, put Phineas and Ferb in it. I was nervous to see how Polly's legs would look, because I thought it would be weird, but actually, it is. They did a really good job integrating legs into her design, and it's still Polly. It's still really cute, and it doesn't take away from her character design, which is really, really impressive, and that's probably something they thought up from the beginning. Are Gravity Falls and Amphibia in the same universe? Well, yes, because we have the canon crossover episode. Let's see. What would Anne talking to Marcy's parents be like? Oh, your daughter was stabbed in the back. So they can meet Ben 10 if... I haven't seen Ben 10, so I don't understand that. What about the monster under the flying castle? That's true. That is a good point. Did the monster... Is he attached to the... If he's attached, he's right into the throne room. Is he attached to the flying castle? Or is he on ground level? That's a good question. I think he probably flew with the castle. Because, but he could still be... I don't know. That's a tough one. Somebody says, to be honest, I think Bill Cipher was a... Fish Eyes says, to be honest, I think Bill Cipher was just a clever reference, not to do with canon. Well... I think that is canon, because again, we saw the Gravity Falls AU in Amphibia, so I'm pretty sure that's confirmation about the same universe. Do I think Planters will get music box powers? It doesn't really make sense for them to get music box powers, because they would have to get it from the gems, right? So it doesn't really make sense. So it's going to be like a Sonic X type situation where the world needs to adjust to new creatures. Potentially, I think you're going to have robots running around in LA, which, that's going to be interesting. Season 3 should be 30 episodes, just like Big City Green Season 2. I don't know. We'll have to see how many it got greenlit for, but Disney is known to give a couple extra episodes at the end for a finale if the creator needs it. So, again, I think Amphibia is going to follow in the trend of Disney Channel shows as third season ending with a movie. Tangled the series, 60-minute movie. DuckTales Season 3, 60-minute movie. I think that's really the only way. You can't end a story like Amphibia's on a 20-minute episode, or even a 45-minute, I don't think. So that's really cool. So Marcy will get to be reborn. Yes, but again, I don't think that's going to happen until maybe a mid-season finale. The only thing we care about... Yes, Anne finally got shoes! That's the only thing we care about are Anne's shoes. Mr. Dementia, Mel Murphy is connected through Phineas and Ferb, and Phineas and Ferb are connected to Big City Greens, and Big City Greens is connected to Amphibia and Gravity Falls. That is the magical web. Yes, there's the Perry plush in Big City Greens, and there's the Big City Greens truck in Amphibia, and Amphibia is also Gravity Falls. And Future Worm connects Gravity Falls to Star vs. the Forces of Evil and Wander Over Yonder. Basically, every Disney Channel show is connected, and anybody who says otherwise is wrong, unless it's the creator. Marcy is alive. She was breathing in the tank. Yes, but again, that doesn't her still being alive. The prophecy still has to be fulfilled of the 3 girls versus the monster. So you knew she was going to be alive even after she died. And 2, it's a kids show. They're not going to kill off one of the main characters for, a super extended period of time. So what the Bacta tank does is it allows for a nice balance in, okay, she's out of commission and her life is at risk, which can create a lot of interesting stakes. And it also allows the creator, Matt, to focus on the dozen other characters that are going to get introduced with going to Earth. If you still had Marcy in the story, from a structural perspective, it would be really, really hard to deal with season 3 if she was an active character. So I think it's a really smart decision that they made season 2 Marcy's season, because you'll always remember that as the season Marcy was introduced and she died. Hopefully it'll be as great as Tangled season 3. Yes, I hope so too. Can't wait to see the planters trying to adjust to the human world. Yes, it's gonna be so good. I'm hoping they get the Star versus treatment. 20 episodes of regular 11-minute segments and then a 40-minute special. That would be really good. Again, you have to end it right. And based off the setup and the way everything has played out so far, I have no doubt that the ending to the story is going to be fantastic. I feel like the last episode should be called Amphibiageddon. Here's something that I think is interesting. Season 3, there's been talk of an Owl House Amphibia crossover. And I think it's very possible it could happen during Owl House Season 2 and Amphibia Season 3. Because again, you see that land that kind of looks like the Boiling Isles in King Andrias's book. So if you made that event, and looking at the timeline of how the other shows are being produced, we could end up in early 2022 with another animation block in like February, where Amphibia airs alongside Owl House. The crossover happens while Owl House Season 2B is airing, and Amphibia Season 3A is airing, and Big City Green Season 3A can also air at the same time, but I don't think it would cross over. Let's see. Marcy is livant, which is not dead. Yes. That is dead. I personally think those 2 robot builder people from the intro will rebuild Frobo, because Polly brought Frobo's up. Yeah! That's why, they kept Frobo with them through the portal, because he can be rebuilt, and that will be good, and hopefully he will have new upgrades. I think Sprig's mom... Okay. Sprig's mom transported the box to Earth before she was killed by the Herons, and I think Andrias was the one who sent them. That is a very valid theory. I do think it's possible Andrias sent the Herons. I also think if Andrias was the one who sent the Herons, he would know that they had children, and also, why would he have personal beef with a descendant of the person he was with? Like, that seems... Like, he's evil, right? But why would he go through all the trouble to send Herons and not just, like, his robot? Well, I guess if he didn't have any robots left. That brings me to another thing. If the Calamity Box was the thing that was powering the robot factory, then how did the robot factory get power at the beginning of Season 2? Tell me your theories about that, because that's interesting. I need to see the scars on Anne's unshoed foot. Yes. Seeing them would be, like, super suspicious of everything. It would be so funny. Yeah, technology, all that fun stuff that the planters are going to be fish out of waters for. All I'll say is DuckTales managed to deal with so many characters at one time. Yes. But the thing about DuckTales is most of those characters were introduced in Seasons 1 and 2. There were a couple new ones in Season 3, especially with, like, the villains. But, like, the people that our heroes were around didn't really expand a whole lot during Season 3. At least not in any way that was, like, relevant to the finale. So that's my only worry, again, because like you said, you got the robot builder people, you got Anne's parents, you got Marcy and Sasha's families, and like so many different, like you just have so many new characters. How is everybody gonna get enough time to make an impact? Will Anne go back to school? I hope not. I think they're gonna write it as summer break, but Sprig going to school with Anne could be really funny. Does Sasha know Anne and the planters are on Earth? I don't think Sasha will know specifically where they are. I think she'll know, obviously, they made it out alive. But I don't think that Sasha is, like, going to know, oh, hey, they made it to Earth specifically. And she's also probably going to be focused on Marcy's death and going back to Wartwood to gather troops to defeat Andrias. I wonder if what the other worlds were or are, and if they play. Okay, I think I was about to say something about that and I forgot. Yeah, the other worlds. Are we gonna get in season 3 like dimension hopping adventures? And I think I was talking a little bit about that with the Owl House, but like, are we gonna see the multiple other worlds that have been shown in the book? And Andreas has obviously told Marcy there's multiple other worlds. So, A, why does Andreas feel the need to conquer Earth first? Why not just play it low, send the girls home, and they don't know he's going to come invade Earth, and he can just go invade other worlds, in the meantime? Because, like, that would make sense for. That would make sense for, his plan. He's like, all right, send the girls home. They're none the wiser. Let's go invade worlds C, D, and E. And then we'll come back to Earth later. And at that point, what is Anne, Marcy, or Sasha going to do? Like, if he didn't reveal his evil intentions, like, it just, he has to have some specific connection to Earth that we don't know yet. And I'm interested to see what that is. Let's see. Andreas could be doing a full world invasion. Yeah. Earth seems a lot bigger than Amphibia, because, like, the Planters went all the way around Amphibia in 5 episodes, which I think was, like, 2 weeks. But, like, you can't drive around the world in 2 weeks. Can you drive around the world? Well, I mean, if there wasn't water, you might be able to drive around the world in 2 weeks, but I don't know. I feel like Earth is bigger than Amphibia, if it's not limited to the lily pad. But that's, I guess, part of the lore that we have to discover. It sucks now that Anne can turn Super Saiyan Blue whenever she wants. Why does that suck? That's a great thing. That's so cool. She's gonna get to have powers all the time. That's epic. That's good. Marcy's parents moved away while she was gone. I believe that. That would be really sad. Like, Anne's like, oh, Marcy's parents, I mean, they were planning on moving for his new job anyway, and after their daughter was lost, like, they just had to move on with their lives. I could see that. Honestly, the main 6 are all my favorite characters. I love them all. Yes, they're so good. So will Anne's gem not being fully charged affect anything other than her link? I don't think so. They could play it for dramatic effect where Andreas has the upper hand and the gem suddenly runs out of power. But I think that would be cheap. I think using it to explain why Anne still has her powers is much better. Here's what I think. I think that the blue gem and activating her powers brought some of the blue gem's power back to her, like you kind of see in True Colors. So when we get to season 3 and she's on Earth, the blue gem has so little energy that the Calamity Box no longer works for Andreas, right? So he uses what little energy the box has left to open up a portal and send robots after Anne so he can get Anne back and get the gem recharged so he can actually take over. That would be my prediction for the plot, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot more depth than that specifically. Marcy getting stabbed literally made you shake. Yeah, that was intense. That was a scary moment. I can see why Disney put the the warning in front of that. Does Anne and the Planters want to get back to Amphibia? I'm sure the Planters do. I think at the end of the show, you have to accept that Anne needs to live on Earth and the Planters need to live in Amphibia. And I think you have some sort of portal connection so they can visit at any time. And that's how you end the series. You don't end it with them saying goodbye forever, because that would be unnecessarily sad, and it doesn't really make sense. Would Marcy's parents become depressed? Probably. That's all I can say on that. Let's see. Woo! I got behind in the comments. Okay, I'm gonna have to skip over some because, yeah, I fell behind. Let's see. Is Ida married by Grunkle Stan? No. Let's see. I want to know why the king is trying to bring Marcy back to life. I think that is a tough one. Why would he want to bring Marcy back to life? Maybe as a bargaining chip to get Anne to give up her powers. I'll save your friend's life. She's not actually dead if you give me the Calamity powers and you go get the box recharged. Bill is not going to be... I never said Bill was going to be in the show. Bill Cipher is not going to be in the show, but that doesn't mean they're not in the same universe. I'm thinking somebody in a friend group of Anne's will come back, but with powers. Oh, you mean Marcy? Maybe. I don't know. Hot Pop's acting was good, though. Hot Pop's acting was great. Do you think we'll get a pink-haired Sasha and a green-haired Marcy? Yes. Again, that is Amphibia series finale material. 45 minutes. Oh, wow. We're about 40 minutes into the stream. Thank you all for sticking around. I bet at the season 3 finale, Anne will be Super Saiyan Blue. Yeah. And we're going to see all three of them get powers in the series finale, or maybe slightly before that. But that's my prediction. Let's see. Amphibia the movie. Yes, her leaves and sticks are gone. Will the animation studio be able to keep up with forgetting to take out the leaves and sticks? That will be the question. And she got shoes, finally. Thank goodness. Owl House or Amphibia? I think Owl House is... like, okay, so they're different because Owl House is largely 22-minute episodes, and Amphibia is mostly shorter 11-minute episodes. I think Amphibia is a lot funnier than Owl House, but I personally like the pacing of Owl House a little bit better. I think Owl House gets to the point a little bit faster. Not that Amphibia doesn't, because obviously there's a lot happening now. But, like, you look at that first season, and there's, like, 2 episodes that address the main... like, 2 or 3 episodes that address the main story of the show. And, I mean, that is just really, really slow. Obviously, the pace has picked up with Season 2, and Season 3 is going to be insane. But I think as a series, Owl House might have slightly better pacing. But I love the characters of both. And, I mean, it's a unique concept. There's not really another show where you plan, you know, like a character that's integral. And you tease this character that's integral. And you don't introduce them until the second season. Like, Marcy is in every single theme song in Season 1. And you don't even meet her in Season 1. That's a bold choice. And I think... you know, I applaud Matt for doing that. I don't think that's how I would handle a show, but I totally get it, and he got 3 seasons, so the story worked out. I think the last scene in the intro is just for the sake of her powers and the cool art at the end. Yeah, it's stock poses, but, like, that's so cool. You can't deny that. That's a computer wallpaper. Let's see. Starfan13 is Stan's daughter. You know, sometimes I wonder about the relevancy of the comments, but you know, let's discuss this. Starfan13 from Star vs. the Force of Evil is Stanley Pines' daughter. Just think about that. Think about how that's possible. Okay, that's enough thinking about that. We're moving on. Is Owl House a part of Gravity Falls? There's rumors about it, but it's far less certain than Amphibia being a part of Gravity Falls. Marcy will be controlled by Andreas. Again, yeah, he could put a brain chip in her because he's got the robot. That could be a thing. I'm surprised the Greens haven't made a cameo in Amphibia yet. They're so similar yet different. I could see Big City Greens having an episode, a crossover in Season 3 of Amphibia, if they live in LA. That would be interesting. I don't think it's as likely as an Owl House crossover, but I think it's good. Anne's gem wasn't fully charged, so the power wasn't fully trapped. Yes. I just watched the finale and intro, and man, I'm hyped for this. Anne has changed so much, and I love it. And I love the new 8-bit intro music. It sounds so cool. Yes, it does! It gives the third season its own unique vibe, and it's so hype. It's so good. So just a thought. The king has a way to send troops, but only sends a few from what we know in the intro. So Sasha's uprising is evidently dangerous, or the music box is weaker. Right. Because, I mean, what would Sasha and Grime be able to do if the music box still had all of its gems charged, right? Because he just destroyed the North Toad Tower just about like 2 clicks. So what's gonna happen is you're just gonna have what are they? How are you gonna attack a floating city? You can't. So I think the music box is gonna have to be dumbed down in power a bit for season 3 to make Sasha's plot relevant, or they're gonna try and find some sort of lore / way to also create a portal without the music box, because obviously there's other magical artifacts in the world, and I don't think the music box is the only way to travel between dimensions. So that could be another plot. Polly's legs should have been long, like half the size of Sprig's legs. No, again, I think the way they are is perfect for Polly's character design. Ghost Appletoon says alive does not mean active. Thank you. The Super Cyan Blue Am was kind of disappointing. No, it wasn't. Did any of you think that was disappointing? That was an epic moment. I don't understand how you can find that disappointing. I can't believe that Marcy died. That was very scary. Yes, it was. Bellos and Andreas are basically the same person. Yeah, the day of unity, the day of conquering all the dimensions and bringing them together. I can't wait for season 3 Sasha. Yes, season 3 Sasha redemption arc. Let's go. Imagine if Polly's legs were as long as Anne's. That would be scary. No. There's a stuffed animal of Cricket in the episode of Amphibia where they stay at the hotel and the owners try to eat them. I do remember that. I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. That's right. There is a stuffed animal of Cricket. So I guess, yeah, there's a good Big City Greens reference in Amphibia. I totally forgot about that. Do I think Andreas will die in season 3? Disney has been known to kill villains. So yes, but on the other hand, we're going to get to know him so much better in the 3rd season. We got a little glimpse of his backstory in True Colors, but we're going to figure out, A, who are these people that he was friends with? B, why did they betray him? And C, how does this dude live for 1,000 years? And he's just chilling. And, he's got to be an interesting... that's so interesting to have to live through generation after generation of people dying just to wait to conquer. What is the motivation for that? Is it because his friends betrayed him and he wants revenge? His friends have to be dead now, right? They can't still be alive. Unless they both had, the same anti-aging potion that Andreas has and they're in hiding. But, I think it's possible Andreas will die, but I think the more likely thing is that... Because Amphibia is all about change, right? And learning your lesson. That's why it's themed to frogs, because frogs change from tadpoles to frogs. I think it would fit more in line with the theme if Andreas changed somehow. And I'm not saying a Steven Universe hug. I'm just saying, I think for him to change and to accept that maybe he treated his friends poorly or something along those lines would be what would actually happen. Again, sorry I'm so behind on the comments. I love addressing these. Thank you so much for tuning into the live stream. But Marcy isn't dead. She was alive in the intro in the end. Yes. Which show's better, Amphibia or the Owl House? I already said they're different. Who do you think is the robot we saw in the season 3 intro? That could be Andreas just upping his robot designs. Or, again, if we're to believe that the multi-eyed creature under the castle is a robot itself, it could easily design new types of robots. But again, why would Andreas be calling this robot his lord? Unless it was the revived soul of another frog. It's so crazy There's so much Andreas lore that we still don't know. Let's see. What do I think happened to Yunan and Lady Olivia? I think they probably went and hid once he dropped Sprig out the window. And they're just like, alright, we're gonna eat before he throws us out the window. I was very against the crew going to the human world, but after the intro, I'm more open to it. That's good. I think you should, obviously at least give it a shot, because this was not a decision that was just like, how can we write ourselves out of this corner? Like, this was something that was planned from the start of the show. So, yeah. And I think that's part of the genius is the first season is Anne, and she's a fish out of water in Wortwood, right? And the second season, you have the whole Planter family, and they're a fish out of water with Anne in the rest of Amphibia. Because again, they haven't been to the rest of Amphibia except maybe Hot Pop. So they're discovering all this crazy stuff. And then the third season is just the Planter family out of water with epic anime fight scenes. There's a new character in the intro to season 3, an architect. I think amphibian residents could have been to Earth before. Absolutely. I 100% believe amphibians have been to Earth before. And I also 100% believe that humans have been to Amphibia before. Because, again, robot technology does not appear to be something native to Amphibia. That's something that comes from Earth. So, were there humans living in Amphibia? And obviously there had to be legends, because all the toads knew about what they called a hummus. So, like, it's part of the legend of Amphibia. I believe Marcy is to be resurrected, so that Andreas is probably trying to bring her back, so that Anne to Amphibia that way. Andreas, yeah, I think that's why he's keeping Marcy alive as a bargaining chip. Is Sasha still in Frog World? Yes, Sasha is still in the Frog World. Do I think Belos and Andreas are the same types of people? We know more about Andreas than we know about Belos. But they're very different. Because, see, Andreas isn't trying to, I don't think, hide information. I think the way he passes time is he just has fun. Like, he has fun living, playing games, just... He wants to have a good time. Even, like, in the fight scene, he's like, alrighty, let's have some fun. Like, let's have a good fight. Belos does not have that same personality. Belos is like, I have the staff and whoosh, whoosh. It's been a little bit since I've seen the Owl House Season 1 finale. I need to rewatch it. But Belos appears to be... I mean, there's debate over whether or not Belos has made up the Titans, or if he's actually serving the Titan, or all of that. But I feel like we just don't know enough to say if they're the same types of people. If anyone for reals died in Amphibia, who would it be? You can't kill Frobo, because you already did the fake-out Frobo death. You can't kill Marcy. If anybody is going to die in Amphibia, it's gonna be Andreas, honestly. Because, I mean, he tried to murder Sprig. He tried to murder Polly. He basically murdered Frobo. And he murdered Marcy. This dude killed, or tried to kill, 4 of our favorite characters in one episode. Like, I could see him dying of anybody. I think Andreas will make the monster control Marcy. Yeah, using Marcy as a pawn could be interesting. Well, Owl's House has great animation. Amphibia has a more fast-paced story. I can't choose. Yeah, I would agree with that. Owl House, I do think, has smoother animation than Amphibia, but I wouldn't say Amphibia's is worse than the Owl House. Amphibia Infinity War. That's basically what the last season is, yes. If anyone, Hot Pop would die. Let's see. I mean, okay. Let's take that and run with it. Let's say Hot Pop gets killed, right? And then you have Sprig and Polly who live with Anne in the human world. I could see that being an ending. I don't think Disney would let them kill Hot Pop. But of all the things, I think that has potential. Let's see. Somebody says, she's a baby. Of course her legs won't be long. Exactly. True Colors is basically Infinity War. Kind of. Um, let's see. And Sprig pulled a lever and activated it. Right. But what's implied is that the power for the factories came from the music box. So was there still part of the music box energy in there, or my guess is that Am powered the robot factory since she had the calamity power. That's a good theory. I like that theory. Yeah, Anne's power could have just kind of radiated into the frog robot factory. Let's see. Anne's power is so cool, yes. Anne's power is... Okay, everybody's agreeing Anne's power is what activated the factory. I don't really want Marcy and Sasha to get Super Saiyan powers. I want Anne to carry them in all the fights. I think Sasha's gonna hold her weight. I don't think we're gonna get another Sasha versus Anne rematch. I think True Colors was the last Sasha Anne fight we're gonna get in the show. But yeah. It's Josh. My question is, how did the box open when Anne absorbed all the power? This is touching on something I talked about a little bit earlier, but we don't know why when they first opened the box in the human world, it A, transported them to Amphibia just by opening it, and B, the power is drained. Because, like, you know, Sasha tries to do it. She tries to send Anne back in this episode, and that's intentional to show us that just opening the box doesn't activate it. So somebody rigged the box basically to do that. And so I don't think Anne has fully absorbed all of the power, but I think what's going to happen is you're going to get to season 3, Andreas is going to go pick up the box, and the blue gem is just like flickering, like it's barely, like between Anne getting her power back and opening that portal and Marcy opening the portal, there's going to be just like very, very little power left. So, and that's going to be a conflict for season 3, I think. Yeah, I think Andreas finds Marcy. Again, yeah, Andreas did have a relationship with Marcy more than anybody else. And maybe he does have a little bit of a heart and didn't actually want to kill her. But, I mean, I wouldn't say that. Season 3 will have 40 episodes. Yeah, if you count, if there's 2 11 minutes in every 20-minute pair. I want to see how Marcy and Sasha will look like in Wild World. I'm sure there'll be plenty of fan art over the next few days. There's a theory that Sprig's mother came to Earth to hide the Calamity Box. Yes, there is. I don't think that's the case. Because again, the box was stolen 1,000 years ago. So unless Sprig's mom lived for 1,000 years and somehow came back and had Sprig and Polly at age 980, I just don't think that's... I think it had to have been one of Sprig's ancestors took the box and brought it back to Earth. Okay, but disturbing thought, Frobo gets rebuilt, is essentially rebooted, and he doesn't have his memories. I could see that. That's very much like Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy, where, and spoilers for Guardians of the Galaxy, but in the first one, he dies, but a part of him is saved, and he regrows into Baby Groot and eventually Teenage Groot in Infinity War and Endgame. So I could very much see Frobo, like, his memory is all gone, right? But the character itself still exists, which makes his death meaningful, as well as gives kind of a new perspective for season 3 for Frobo, where it's like, okay, this is a robot built from the ground up in the human world, and that's really interesting. It's like we haven't really known Frobo for that long. I mean, it still hit when he died, but like Frobo's not a crucial part of the show at this point. So that's why I thought, oh, his death in True Colors makes sense, because that's a death you can do. We care about him. He's not human, and we still, like, you know, he's still a part of the family. So that's kind of... I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, I think Frobo getting rebuilt but without his memories is very plausible. I'm going to take a drink for a second. All right. Why is Anne epic? Anne is epic because Anne is epic. I think Andreas will make the monster control Marcy. Again, we know so little about the big monster, it's really hard to say. Let's ban this guy spamming E's. You get hidden. How's Andreas gonna recharge the gems? Can you imagine Andreas going to the temples himself trying to recharge the gems? That would be hilarious. I think he's gonna try and force Anne to recharge her gem. What do I think the prophecy really is? I think the prophecy is that big robot thing gets yeeted by Anne, Marcy, and Sasha. And if you notice in the giant mural that Sasha and Grime uncover, of the 3 people who are powered on top of the box, only one of them has like blue fiery hair, which matches with Anne, which makes me think that might just be a power of the blue gem, is to give the user fiery blue hair, because that's what it is on the wall. But the big prophecy is the one at the end of the intro, where, it shows the 3 girls who look clearly like Anne, Marcy, and Sasha facing off against the one-eyed beast. Which, makes you question, is it the beast that's underground, or is it something different? And, I think there's a lot to theorize about. But again, the creators have planned this out from the beginning, because that prophecy was in the intro at the beginning. That's why this series was in development for 2 years, so they could actually get all of these plot beats worked out. So yeah. How would the king be defeated? If the king was defeated, it would be very fitting for him to get stabbed through the heart with his own sword. I could see that, just like the way he killed Marcy. I don't think Summer Break makes a lot of sense. Why not? Why can't it be Summer Break? Who cares? I mean, because actually, that actually makes a lot of sense for it to be Summer Break, because when Anne lands in Amphibia, right, the mountains are frozen that time of year, so you can't get through, which implies that season 2 takes place during a time when it's warmer and not frozen, so it could easily be summer in the real world. Do I think that Disney is trying to do its animation shows to join up into one single show, like how the Marvel movies joined up and became a big movie shows? No, I don't think they will, but there's precedent for larger crossovers with their live action shows, like, The Sweet Life of Hannah Montana, That's So Raven, or It's, Happy New Year, Jessie. And, they've obviously done show crossovers before. Kim Possible crossed over with Lilo and Stitch. Phineas and Ferb crossed over with Milo Murphy's Law. And I'm trying to think what other crossovers. Outside of the Phineas and Ferb crossover with Milo Murphy's Law, what is the most recent Disney Channel crossover? Let me know. Not live action, but like animation. What's the most recent Disney Channel animation crossover outside of the Phineas and Milo one? But I don't think they're trying to make them like a big connected show. They're very different, and Big City Greens is very much we're just having fun, and Amphibia is we're having fun but with plot, and Owl House is like we're doing 22-minute episodes but with plot and fun and crying. What do I think will happen in season 3, episode 1 of Amphibia? I think it'll be a 22-minute, and I think that 22-minute episode will involve Anne meeting her parents, and I think it will involve Sasha and Grime escaping Andreas. It'll be connected to the season 2 true colors. If you've seen Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure, the season 2 finale, it's basically a 45-minute episode, but it ends with a cliffhanger, and they spend the next 45 minutes at the beginning of season 3 also in basically the same story. So I think it would be really, really dumb if they just cut to Anne and the Planters living with Anne's parents. You would kill so much emotion and drama. I think you need to let that breathe. You don't just be like, all right, season 3 started and now the Planters are living with Anne's family. No. If you do that, I would not be happy. Because there's just too many conversations I need to see happen. It seems like they were in Amphibia for about 7 months. Yeah, I'd agree. I think they purposefully, at the beginning of True Colors, said several months so that they wouldn't have to worry about the specifics of the time. I have people like, you said 2 months here, and you said this many months here. I think several months was a nice way to address that. I'm not ready for Amphibia or Owl House to end. Me either. but they are. What's Anne's power? It's like blue. That's Anne's power. How did Sasha even survive the fall? Sasha survived the fall because Grime caught her, and Sprig would have died if he fell. But he was saved by Marcy on Joe Sparrow. Why are Anne and them being chased by the police? That's a good question. Maybe the police aren't friendly to frogs. Maybe they want to apprehend the frogs. I hope they... I really don't want to see Anne and the plant. Like, the police getting involved is so cliche in these types of shows. Like, with Big Hero 6, the series where Season 2 addresses the police being upset with Big Hero 6. And, man, if the police are going to be after the planters, that's going to be so lame. But I really trust the writers to do that well. So, man, though. I just... Oof. Ghost Apple Toon says, I would love a MML Amphibia crossover, but it would just be like, I was transferred to another world, started to survive, gain powers, and watch my friend die. Oh, wow, I have bad luck. True. The second dimension is basically 10 minutes behind in reintroducing topics from others. Yep, that's about right. I am very far behind in the chat, but I want to talk about all this stuff that you're talking about. So I'm sorry that I'm behind in the chat, but I think this is good because there's so much good discussion to have about this episode. Let's see. And sorry if I'm skipping over your... If I skip over what you said, I probably either already talked about it or it's not relevant to the conversation. Anne gets a power boost whenever she's... Okay, yeah, when you were asking about what Anne's power, she does get... When her emotions get intense, I think she loses control. But the Season 3 intro implies that she will be able to control her power in the future. So, that's good. Let's see. Sasha almost fell to their death. Sprig almost fell to their death. Maybe King Andreas. King Andreas falling to his death from the castle. That would also be very fitting. I think Andreas will make... Okay, but that's the thing, like, how could the monster get into Marcy's head? I don't know. I think it makes sense Andreas would invade Earth first because he has insight from Marcy on how it works. That's true. That is true. Marcy has told him a lot about Earth, and so he would definitely be more familiar with that. But you gotta wonder, again... This dude, he has lived for 1,000 years, right? Like you would forget stuff in 1,000 years, right? Like, so maybe he has invaded Earth before, but he just does not remember. Like his mind is just... That is the thing I am most confused about, is how has he lived for 1,000 years? How has he tried to get back the box in that 1,000 years? And... Like, that's so crazy to me, because none of the other people in Amphibia have lived for 1,000 years. Somebody says he's got sad backstory. Yeah, maybe Andreas will have a more in-depth sad backstory. Is Deuce other dimensionary the Phineas and Ferb equivalent of the Calamity Box? No, because the Calamity Box can power other things. The other dimensionary is solely for other dimensions. That means if she could control her emotions, she could control her powers. That is true. And if she learns to control her emotions, she can control her powers. And maybe that's part of her Season 3 arc. For, just like her character. I just read, hold on. So I said King Andreas used to be a normal frog, but he got hit with toxic waste when he moved to Amphibia. Oh, that's good. I think Marcy's going to come back a whole different person being controlled. Then Anne and Sasha have to fight her. Anne and Sasha versus Marcy has good dramatic potential. Marcy being a different... here's the thing. When Marcy comes back to life, like, that's a whole... Like, you come back from the dead... Marcy has to reckon with the fact that, she got impaled. She got the sword through her chest. So, it's one of those where, how do you live knowing that you've accepted death? That's again. There's how is Amphibia gonna handle this all in 20 episodes? I have no idea. Fun fact: Apple and Onion are in the season 3 intro. It's on a notepad. Aw, that's a cool Easter egg. Let's see. Oh, I lost my spot in the comments again. I apologize if I missed some stuff. Alright. Unlikely plot twist. King Andrias is the evil twin. The evil twin killed him shortly after True Colors. Huh. King Andrias having an evil twin. Okay. Remember that really old Toad and Barrel's Warhammer? What if that's King Andrias's... Oh, that is interesting. What if that is King Andrias's friend? Is that really old Toad? That's a good point. I don't think Andrias would allow him to be in a leadership position of a Toad Tower, though. The vending machine in Big City Green had multiple different references. It did. If the planters are in the human world and there's not supposed to, I'm pretty sure something bad might happen to them. Please notice this comment. You have been noticed? Yes, something bad will happen to them. That is what the intro implies. Bill Cipher lives and turned into king on Owl House. Is it Mr. Dimension? The question is phrased in a way where it's like... Okay, so first Bill Cipher would have had to live, and then he turns into king. And then that's going to be relevant to the Owl House. And none of that is related to True Colors. But sure, why not? Maybe we'll learn more about Sprig's mom, or there will be some... See, okay, here's the thing. When you... And I keep going back to this, but Andrias is 1,000 years old. So I don't think he would have beef with Sprig's mom. I think that her backstory and her death is just what that is. Because here's the thing. If we learn later that Sprig's mom is still alive, or like her death was caused by, you know, Andrias sending the herons, I think it loses its potency as just a tragedy, right? It's a tragedy that Sprig lost his mom so young. And it's a tragedy that it was the herons that got them, and, you know, like, both of their parents are gone. And so if there's some sort of twist about her, then all of that in season 2, that moment with him crying with Anne, kind of just would feel weightless rewatching it. So I don't think that's going to be a twist. Do I think Marcy and Sasha can also go Super Saiyan too? Yes. Who's the monster in the basement? We don't know. He's a robot. The multi-eye beast is Bill Cipher reborn, because Bill's last words were he was... There's been... Because... Okay, so let's assume that having Bill Cipher in Marcy's book was foreshadowing that the monster under King Andrias' castle was Bill Cipher. How would you explain that to somebody who just watched Amphibia and not Gravity Falls? Like, so there was this demon that traveled through dimensions, right? And he died, but he came back as a robot, and he was upset that he only had one eye. So he grew 12 more eyes, and then he also decided to make himself not mobile, so he can only sit in the basement in the dark. And he also can't talk, so he can't be snarky and sarcastic. Like... I don't know, that's just funny to me. How are Anne's parents fine with talking frogs living in their house? Because Anne is fine with them, and you know what? That's probably going to be a couple of the first few episodes are gonna deal with that. Let's see. The robots in True Colors kind of look like the ones from the second dimension. Not really. They didn't float. I mean, they did have flying powers, but like they weren't constantly floating, and they didn't look like Norm, and they looked like frogs. Brazilian here. Welcome from Brazil. So glad you're here on the stream. We love to see people from all over the world here. That's awesome. They should have kept King... Yeah, King Andrias went into the jail cell really quickly. They should have kept him there. Imagine all the trouble they could have stopped. I think that Andrias will use the box in order to get to Earth and start an uprising on another planet. And also, it could be possible that Andrias had used a cloning machine in order to live forever. So... Okay, so... There's a lot to unpack there. so Andreas constantly clones himself. Like every 100 years or so, Andreas puts himself into the cloning machine. He makes a clone, and that clone is him, and then he clones himself again. That's plausible ish. Let's see. How come when Sprig looked in the ice cream, his eyes did not get hurt? I think he was hurt. I just don't think the theme song wanted to address that. Am I the only person surprised that it was Marcy behind it all along? Okay, but like, Marcy being behind it all along is about as much truth as Agatha being behind WandaVision all along. Like, okay, Marcy knew that potentially the box could take them to other worlds, but she looked at it and she was like, kooky stuff, right? So again, that we're going back to, was the book being dropped intentional, which I think it most certainly was, but Marcy wasn't really behind it, and like, it's not like there was ever a good moment for her to tell Anne and Sasha that she knew the box would take them to Amphibia. But again, like Anne says, we all may have made some mistakes, but you're evil. Like, it wasn't Marcy all along. It was Andreas all along. It was Andreas all along. Now that'll be stuck in your head for the rest of the night. You're welcome. Fun fact, Pacha's wife from Emperor's New Groove has the same voice actor as Ida. That's cool. Do I think the knight will destroy everything near the end? Oh, that's what they're calling the eye monster. I think we'll have to see the eye monster use his power somehow, so we know that he's a threat. Overall, what did I think of the finale? My opinion. I think it was amazing. It is just as good as the season 1 finale, if not better. My favorite part was the music. The music was just... The score is so mind-blowingly good. The animation is incredible. And just... It's a fantastic episode. It's so well-paced. It pays off so many things. And I am going to be making a video about it. Mr. Dimension, do you think that the different worlds have different temples to charge the stones? That is a good question. I don't think they do, because the Calamity Box specifically is a frog, or like is an amphibian artifact, right? Because you have Valeriana, who's part of an ancient order devoted to the gems in the box. You see a lot of carvings of the frogs worshipping the gems in Newtopia, as well as on the box. You see the frog kind of holding up the gems. So it's one of those where, because it's specifically amphibian, the amphibians would have developed a way to charge it. And I think that means that other worlds aren't going to have temples to charge the stones. Finale was awesome. Yes, Dan and Matt are killing it with Amphibia in the Owl House. Absolutely they are. Let's see. I think Andreas or Hot Pop would die. Oh, so this is where we were talking about who would die. Yeah, I think that's possible. What if Sprig goes super duper? I don't know what going super duper is, but I'm assuming you mean having powers. That would be cool if Sprig got powers. Yeah. Somebody says one of the main characters died. I think it would be Sasha. I don't... Sorry. I don't think it would be Sasha, just because, like, she already almost died in season 1, so for her to die again would be like, you already played it off like she was going to die once, and then she actually died, so I don't think that's likely. When do you think we can expect Amphibia Season 3? I hope later this year, and also finale was 10 out of 10. It's my favorite episode, with Amphibia being my favorite Disney Channel show. Okay, so here's the thing. Owl House Season 2 airs June through August. So they take September off for animation. Ghost of Molly McGee airs October, November, December. They take January off. And then I think we get a animation block starting in February of 2020. That would be my 2022. So that would be my guess, is we see Amphibia Season 3A and Owl House Season 2B and Big City Greens 3A all aired together in February of 2022. And that is my guess. Marcy's body will be used as a host for the monster. Ooh, Now that's a good theory. So, like, maybe the monster needs a body to inhabit, like a physical body. And so Andreas is going to put the spirit of that multi-eyed creature into Marcy. That would be good. Let's see. Blesso is like, okay, let's use the Staff of Technology. Oh, you mean Bellos. Bellos is like, okay, let's use the Staff of Technology and magic from the tree, and then goes, this is Sparta, then loses or is hiding while others take care of it. I could see that. I feel like he's going to have a Disney death where he falls off a building. Yeah, Andreas could die like that. Amphibia Season 3. Yeah, Amphibia Season 3 is like Amphibia Endgame, basically. Theory. Anne and the Planters try to find info if anyone else knows about Amphibia. Somebody else on Earth has to know about Amphibia, right? Because somebody wrote about the Calamity Box. So I could see that plot. And you see them in the library in the theme song, too. Maybe that's the library Marcy originally had the book in. In the theme song in Season 3, there are tubes coming out of Marcy into the Lord of Andreas. That is a unique way of putting it, but yes, the tubes are inside Marcy, and she's attached to the creature. Which I guess adds to the theory that the creature could control her. Do I think the knight will kill Andreas at the end? I don't know. Again, that's just like... We don't know the relationship between the knight and Andreas, right? And so for the knight to kill Andreas, I don't know, I just feel like Andreas is still going to be the big bad of the show, and the knight is kind of like secondary. Andreas could have defeated the Planters and the girls using his Inferno Blade to pierce through everybody. That's true. But then the show wouldn't be fun. Let's see. A Season 1, Phase 1. Yeah, I mean, Amphibia, it says, end of Part 1, end of Part 2. And I had the right to... Let's see. Anne was in the Temple of Spring. The music box has no energy and might not be able... See, the music box has to be able to be recharged. I don't think that's possible. Let's see. Wait, those amphibian ruins were built like 1,000 years ago and then powered up 1,034 years later. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I guess, those factories have just been sitting there for thousands of years because Hot Pop doesn't even know what they are when they're passing them on the road. My theory is they better not have killed Marcy or else. No, Marcy's not dead. I'm not on board with the Hot Pop dies theory. I don't think many people are. Will Marcy eventually fight Anne? Potentially. Sassy One Sam, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Let's see. You've probably been watching for like 20 minutes at this point, and I'm just getting to your comment. Anne absorbed half the power, not all of it. That's, again, yeah. I think she took more power out of the gem, but I think some of it obviously had to still be left for that portal to open. Did Sasha and Marcy get their powers back just because they used the Calamity Box? I don't think so. I'm not sure if anybody has said this yet, but towards the end of the season finale, from Frobo's death to the end of the season finale, reminds me of Sonic the Hedgehog. I haven't seen the Sonic season finale, but that's cool. Anne's shoe is actually the music box's shoe because the music box was mad from Anne only having one shoe. Yeah, there are some interesting comments. The music box having a personality and being angry that, Anne only has one shoe. That's a theory. I'm pretty sure Anne with calamity powers would destroy Sasha. Yes. Somebody says, anyone who is hating on Marcy, let's fight. Do it. Give him back. Give him back. Super Saiyan Anne 2021. Perfection. I feel like we could actually get another Anne versus Sasha match, but verbally, as training, or they will go to trust. Ooh, an Anne versus Sasha, like, battle of words. That could be fun. Can I do a live reaction to True Colors right here, right now? No, because I've already seen it, so the reactions would just be faked, and I also can't stream it. And without getting copyright. Somebody says Amphibia's animation is better than the Owl House. That's a hot take. It's a hot take, but I like it. I'm kind of upset that the king just killed Marcy with no hesitation. Again, and the stream I can't talk. The stream seems to keep coming back to this, but this dude is 1,000 years old, right? He's known Marcy for like 4 months. He has no issue killing her. No matter how much of a bond they might have theoretically developed. I also agree Anne would get stronger when she's closer to the box. Possibly. I watched True Colors 6 times. My soul hurts. I'm so sorry for you. Oh no. Is it actually Sprig's ancestor? I think so. I think it's the colors. They wouldn't have picked those colors if it wasn't Sprig's ancestor. Who the heck owned that thrift store, right? Was the person who owned the thrift store, like, maybe knew something about Amphibia? What if Anne pulls a gem out of gem? Oh, that's true. You can pull the gems out of the Calamity box. They're not stuck on the box. So Anne could try and take out one of the gems. Glenn Draper just joining in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited to meet the archaeologist woman in the intro. I bet she's cool. I'd agree with that. Do you think the finale is going to have an epilepsy effect with the final blow? I think when the girls unite, their fused powers and be some sort of beam that would kill the knight. Kind of like My Little Pony. Yes, I have to imagine that will be, if you're epilepsy sensitive, you're going to have to be careful. I mean, even in this episode, you had the flashing when Anne's powers were happening. The king will fuse with the robot at the end of season 3. That's interesting. Let's see. Marcy's moment was sweet but controlling and a little psychotic. I agree. Good intentions, bad execution. When she was like, I gave you Sprig, it just felt so wrong. Like, oh, no, that's not good. I have a theory that Marcy will be turned into a half robot, so she would follow orders of Andreas. I like that theory. I think, Marcy being a cyborg could be pretty cool. Cyborg Marcy. Sprig is now inspired to be as epic as Anne. Sprig has always inspired to be as epic as Anne, from Best Franz, where Anne's like, a good friend would take me to the lake. So now Sprig's like, oh, well, I want to be a good friend. But now he's like, I want Super Saiyan powers. Do you think Earth has temples too? No, there's no way Earth has temples. Frobo is life. Frobo is life. It shows how unstable the relationship is. Lady Olivia should rule Newtopia after Andreas is defeated and accept both frogs and toads. Lady Olivia being the new queen of Amphibia would be so perfect of an ending. That's amazing. I love that. They did such a good job making Andreas seem intimidating. His big roars were crazy. Yes, they were. They did such a good job making him just a viscerally terrifying villain. Edgar Rodriguez, I wonder how the king got a sword. Yeah, how did King Andreas get the fire lightsaber sword? Like, probably from another world, honestly. But again, technology seems to be so crucial to the future of this show. And that's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. Notice how Marcy meets Sprig, she says, I've never seen a frog your color before, which means she's seen frogs in the valley. That's true. So Marcy maybe left Amphibia a little bit to go on a tour with the king or something. I have a theory once Marcy gets revived, the king may try to control her. Yeah, it's a lot of people's theories because, she's in the back to tank. Does anyone know when Anne's birthday is? I don't think we do. It's crazy how Amphibia was a lighthearted show of a girl who went to a frog world trying to get home, and then it goes to a giant frog thing stabbing one of the main characters. I know, right? Let's see. Let's skip through a couple. Let's see. Okay, this is late, but I cut my hair. Yes, I did cut my hair. It used to be longer. I used to wear it in a ponytail. Now it's short and curly and actually matches my character on the show. So thank you for noticing. I want the sword to be through Andreas' heart. Yes, that would be so satisfying. Please notice this. Okay, let's look at it. Okay, so I think Marcy and King Andreas made a deal of where Marcy fakes death to get revenge on something. No. That would kill the impact of True Colors. Like, obviously, their deal did not entail that. No. Why are we singing the #1 Victory Royale song in the comments? Wouldn't the most recent crossover be Amphibia Gravity Falls? Yeah, I guess so. But it does, those weren't the characters meeting each other. It was more of an homage episode. DuckTales and Tailspin, yeah, that makes sense. The weird thing is the Prophecy Beast thing has 13 eyes, but the Prophecy in the intro, it has a gem for an eye. So how will it get the gem eye? Oh, wait, it could take the music box's gems. Ooh, I like that theory. The gem in its eye is a music box gem. Kim Possible with Lilo and Stitch was the most recent official one before Phineas and Ferb Effect. Okay, that makes sense. DuckTales with Tailspin. Yeah, a lot of people saying that. I would agree with that. What if the other world were like Earth, Amphibia, Owl House, and Big City Greens? Yeah, that's possible. I don't think... I think Big City Greens is just in Earth, and I think Owl House is... Earth is the same, but Boiling Isles is its own dimension. How important will Maggie's role be in season 3? She'll probably have a fun cameo. Let's see. I like Amphibia more than Owl House, but it still has to have every episode be 25 minutes long. Let's see. How is Anne going to explain to Marcy's parents that she was stabbed in the chest? I don't know. That's the question. That's the question. Without Marcy, we would not have our boy Sprig. That is true, but the way she phrased it was not good. I'm glad that Owl House is coming back as soon as Amphibia is on hiatus. Something for us to look forward to. Yeah, it is nice that even though Amphibia is over, we got Owl House in like 2 weeks. I think she has nature. That's her power. You see all the leaves. That, I don't think it's nature power. I think it's just calamity power. Season 3 might be in August, October, considering how long it usually takes. No, I think it's going to be a little longer away than that. There's usually at least a 6-month break between seasons. It seems rather than the police, it's a secret organization undercover. That's interesting. An undercover organization knowing about the other dimensions could be an interesting storyline. It matters how you do it. The police being involved can make a great part in the story. You never know. I agree with that. Again, I just think it's a lot. Like, why do we need the police when we have so many other things to talk about with the show? Let's see. Do I think Anne will control her calamity powers at will? Absolutely. I think she will learn how to do that in season 3. The classic government tries to capture the weird creature trope. Cliche indeed, yes. What's better, a frog or an alligator? I'm from Florida, so I'm kind of biased towards alligators, not gonna lie. It actually is summer in season 3 opening since it shows a beach and people at the beach. Yeah. Okay, so we got confirmation that season 3 is probably summer. And again, that makes sense because who wants to deal with school plot lines? That's so many Disney Channel shows deal with that. That's all what all the live action shows deal with is going to school. What if the Calamity Box got destroyed? That's true. If Sasha smashed it to pieces like she said she would, that could set Andreas back a bit. So Marcy drops the Calamity Box, right? And then we open up in season 3. Sasha runs for it, snatches the box, takes it over to the edge of the throne room, throws it to the ground, it gets smashed, and now the gems still exist, but they can't use it for teleportation. I like that theory. I like that a lot. Let's see. How do you think the girls will defeat the knight? Either by beating him to death with a united blow? Again, we don't really know the knight's full size and scale, so it's hard to say how they would defeat him. Do I think General Yunin and the princess, you mean Lady Olivia, love each other? I think Lady Olivia tolerates General Yunin, but I imagine General Yunin gets on Lady Olivia's nerves. Maybe Kind Andreas isn't really a newt. That's a possibility. But he does have the design of a newt. Maybe he made himself bigger the same way the herons are big. Because, the herons are so big compared to everything else. Maybe there's a grow ray. The minute we saw the king, we knew something was up with him. Yeah, that wasn't the intention. How And the theme song, when we saw Sasha... Oh, the comments just refreshed. I'm gonna go back up and... Let's see. Wait, how old is King Andreas? I can't remember. I love it. There's going to be a human character that's going to be the Calamity Box Wise mentor. That's an interesting... Yeah, you see the older guy. Let's see. I kind of hope the season 3 finale will be double length. I think it has to be. Maybe Andreas killed his friends after they found out he was conquering other worlds. But, like, how would you run the kingdom and conquer other worlds without your friends knowing? That's so crazy. The frog by Andreas' side could also be an ancestor of Spring and Polly's. Yeah. Do you think the Earth is temple? No. Sorry, some of these questions have been asked more than once. According to the book, in the aquarium episode, the name of the monster is the Night. Yeah. Just popped in and all I heard was on the bottom of Andreas' castle was Bill Cipher. Will I watch Owl House Season 2? Of course. I want to make videos about it too. Them coming to the real world is exactly what I've been theorizing and wanting since Season 1. And it makes sense, because that's how the show was planned out. Let's see. How would Anne's parents react to Anne turning into Super Saiyan? I can't wait till Anne's parents see her get Calamity powers. That's going to be so funny. Can I start just saying all the theories in the chat? Absolutely. Go ahead. Arthur says, is this where you post a question? Yes. Again, what I love about this is there's no form, there's no submission, just me reading the comments, and we're just talking about it. And that's the fun of this. So that's what I love about this stream. Let's see. The first half felt kind of rushed, but in a good way, to show it was supposed to be one quick last adventure. I mean, the first, like, everything involving the takeover of the Toads takes 13 minutes. So I can see how that would feel kind of rushed, but I think it was enough, because you needed to get to the stuff with King Andreas, and... Like you didn't want to not have enough time for that. I think the series will end with Earth and Amphibia fused together, like in Star vs. No! No! Please, no! Do not fuse Amphibia and Earth. No. Does Sasha and Anne think Marcy is a villain now after the Season 2 finale? No. We all forgot about his opinion. Oof. That's okay. I don't care. I'm enjoying talking about this. I think the book that Marcy got from said Dr. P, possibly Dr. Planter, Sprig's mom. Yeah, I agree. I think... No, I don't agree. It's not Sprig's mom. No, no, not Sprig's mom had Sprig and died. That's what happened. I can't lie. This has got to be the best episode Disney TV has ever produced. And yes, I know Gravity Falls exists. Again, I'm not ready to say it's the best episode yet. It's pretty good, but the DuckTales Season 3 finale exists, and there's just the Last Crest. There's so much good. There's so much good coming out of Disney TVA these days. I think that Anne would be relieved to see her best friend to think any of that. Yeah, she wouldn't speculate Marcy is evil, because she would just be like, Marcy, you're alive! I thought you were dead. I think the show would end with the girls going on another adventure. The music from the Season 2B trailer playing in the background as the girls suit up and enter the portal. That is incredibly specific. But I don't think that's what's gonna happen. In Season 3, the human military should be able to handle any threat. You'd think so, right? Like, you'd think. Let's see. When Frobo and Marcy died, I cried. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. It was very sad. Do I think the other worlds will be explored like the Phineas and Ferb movie? I hope so. Again, you don't build this much of a world and not explore it. I think having some sort of portal jumping finale scene where they're going from dimension to dimension, the finale would be cool. Don't forget about Hamster and Gretel, but who knows if it'll be ready to go by early 20... No, Hamster and Gretel won't be ready till at least late 2022. Why is the stream so delayed? The stream isn't delayed. It's 20 seconds behind. I'm just reading comments from forever ago because I want to try and get to everybody, and I will not be able to get to everybody, but I'm just reading through. I hope Polly finds out. I hope Polly finds out about guns and uses them. Oh, that's funny. Yes, that. Can you imagine Polly going to a shooting range? That would be hilarious. This is the best and saddest episode in Disney history besides Agony of a Witch. I think that's up for debate. I think Dr. P stands for Dr. Petunia Planter. That is also incredibly specific. How will Sasha tell Ivy about Sprig and Maddie about Marcy? Oh, that's true. Sasha's gonna have to tell Maddie that Marcy died. I didn't think about that. Redder55, hi from Egypt. Hello, welcome to the stream. I think revealing that Marcy is alive but in a bacterium tank was a bit of a terrible idea since you just saw her die. And seeing her body in a tank would just ruin the emotional tension. We addressed this earlier, but being inactive is essentially equivalent to her death having consequence. Agony of a Witch is from Owl House. Hello from Minnesota, welcome. I think they're sucking all the calamity power out of Marcy. But my question is, why is it blue? No, Marcy's power is green. Let's see. I want Marcy to live, but it just ruins the emotional tension. Not really. Again, she's, for the purposes of the story, she's dead for a while. Anne didn't seem too hurt over her friend dying. I did think about that, but when you just got sent through a portal and you're back in your home world, that's not the most pressing thing on your mind at the moment. Somebody says Weird Mageddon didn't have a warning and Amphibia did. Yeah, well, I think Weird Mageddon aired on XD, so... Wait, remember when Andrea said someone stole the music box 1,000 years ago? What if whoever stole it traveled to Earth and wrote the notes about just somewhere else, then someone else found those? That's possible. Let's see. Somebody says Marcy sucks. Sasha rules. No, they're both amazing. Somebody says they'd pay to see Polly's legs photoshopped onto the calamity box. Somebody go ahead and make it. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down to the current part of the chat now. And if you have any final questions, go ahead and ask them now. I'm going to wrap up the stream in about 15 minutes. So I'm just going to go with whatever's most recent and try and do those, and so we're not going back like 20 minutes. So people who got to the stream towards the end can potentially get their questions answered. Let's see. Maddie's going to put a curse on the king. That would be cool. Is it just me or does the king make Bellows seem weak? Potentially. Revealing that Marcy was still alive may have been part of the deal to allow the episode to air uncensored. That is a good point. Let's see. What if the author of Marcy's book is Ford or Dipper? I'm not sure. Okay. I think, because, Dipper, I guess Dipper Pines, Stanford Pines. So we have, for the authors of that book, we have, it could be a planter. It could be a pines. Those are the two prevailing theories. Why don't any Disney TVA shows have merch? Because Disney doesn't think it's valuable, and a lot of them do have merch on Amazon. It's just not in the stores. The government is probably trying to test on the planters, yes. Doesn't the owl eye demon kind of look like the Owl House garbage slug? Not really. What if Amphibia was an alien planet? It could be an alien planet. That's a possibility. I think it's just an alternate dimension, though. Do you think the new season will have Star Season 1 vibes? No. That's going to be totally different, because the actual story is all in motion now with the villain. I'm just imagining the video Bill Cipher has a gun, but with Polly. Do you think Anne will be able to use her power to charge the box? Potentially. Somebody says, wow, 2 hours. Yeah, I know, it's been a while. I'd say planter. Again, do I think the P stands for pines or planter? I think it stands for planter. You're not going to introduce that much Gravity Falls lore into the show that's crucial to the story. Do we know why the episode was delayed? It was delayed because Disney thought it was too violent to air, and originally it was going to be cut, and then there's videos on that. Roundtable's done a video. You can go watch that. Who's your favorite of the main three girls? Sasha, I think, is the most fun. I think Marcy is the most relatable, and Anne is the most pure. Let's see. What's your favorite show, Amphibia or Owl House? I like Amphibia better because I think it's funnier. And I also got into it first before Owl House, but I still love Owl House. They're both equally good. Emperor Belus wants to conquer the human world, and King Andrias wants to conquer the other planets. How curious. What if they met? What if King Andrias and Emperor Belus met, and that was the Owl House crossover? It wasn't our main characters meeting. It was the villains meeting up. That would be fun. Let's see. I mean, obviously, so somebody asked me again, who's better? All the girls are equally interesting. I think Anne is probably the most well-rounded character just because we've had the most time to spend with her. But they're all so much fun, and I love all the relationships between them. Why do people say Sprig's mom and not Polly's mom? Because the design of King Andrias's friend looks like the colors of Sprig. And even though that's not Sprig's mom, people say that's Sprig's mom. Okay. That's the thought. Since Anne first used her Calamity powers after thinking Sprig died, is it possible season 3 could open with Calamity powers after seeing Marcy die? No. Because... oh man, did I get so far back again? She's too focused on being in the human world. Do I think... Wait... Some of these questions are getting asked all again. Dr. P could also be Perry the Platypus, yes. The worst way Amphibia could end as if it was all a dream. No, it's not all a dream. Couldn't Andrias have lived through thousands of years through potions? Yes. What will happen to Anne's cat? I don't know what's going to happen to Anne's cat. By season 3 of Amphibia, did burn as adult, technically. Can we talk about the real hero? I'm talking about Anne's cat. Anne's cat's cute as Domino. Is Domino. Domino's cute. What do I think the next crossover will be? Owl House Amphibia. I think it's going to happen. Do I think there are previous holders of the Calamity powers? Absolutely, because Andrias knows what they were, and there is depictions of the Calamity powers in the mural with him, holding the music box. Hypnotized Frobo. No. I think Sprig and Polly's parents are stuck in Anne's world, which is why the Calamity box was there in the first place. Sprig and Polly's parents are dead. They are dead. That's it. They're dead. Do we think we'll see an actual Gravity Falls and Amphibia crossover? We kind of already got one. I don't think we'll get another one. Not time. If you see a tadpole with legs and she has a gun, run. I want the planters to react to Earth frogs. Yes! Like the ducks reacting to actual... Or like Penny in DuckTales reacting to actual ducks. Let's see. Do I think Lady Olivia, General Yunan, Grime, and Sasha have all been imprisoned by Andrias? No. Sasha and Grime made it free. Yunan and Olivia, I think, get imprisoned. Do I think Anne will find Marcy's book? I think so. I think that's why they have the library and the theme song. I should join the round table. Thank you. I'm honored. I would join the round table if I was invited. However, I have not been invited to join the round table. So, as of yet... I remain the second dimension. And I like having my own channel. I think it's nice that we can just talk and just like Roundtable doesn't do live streams like this. So this is really nice. Man, how do I always get lost? I have some doubts on whether or not it'll have a conclusive ending. I think it will have a conclusive ending, but I think there will be enough. I don't think there will be a plot line left open, but I think there will be an opening to a season 4 if he got renewed. Lots of people saying Anne is their favorite. Yes. The animation in True Colors had me like, yeah, it's that good. I think the box will be destroyed in season 3, but I hope the planters don't stay with Anne even if I really want them to. I think so too. I don't think they could all live together. I think they need to stay in their separate worlds. You should not join Roundtable. Roundtable should join you. That's funny. Thank you. It's more the opposite. Sasha and Marcy need to drain the box to get their powers. Right. So the box is gonna have colorless gems again here in the future. Black, the Umbreon coming in from Florida. Welcome. That's usually where I am. Florida is a great state. What will happen to Sasha? She never entered the portal on camera. She is stuck in Amphibia, and the season 3 theme song confirms it. I've asked this before, but what if King Andreas lived 1,000+ years through potions? Okay, so we do know magic is real. We do know revival is real, because there's magic in Amphibia. So potions for extended life are good, and we're going to name King Andreas Nicholas Flamel, okay? So Andreas Flamel is his canon name. If you're tweeting about this live stream, hashtag Andreas Flamel. And that is the official hashtag for this live stream. Hashtag Andreas Flamel. Emperor Bella said in agony of which she didn't want to conquer Earth. I need to rewatch that. Do I watch Avatar The Last Airbender? Yes, I do. It's excellent. I wonder what Polly would look like when she sprigs AIDS. I'm curious. Do I think Andreas will send the robots to destroy Anne and the planters? Yes, I do, because that is what is shown in the season 3 theme song. There are robots on Earth chasing them. So I think some way, somehow, Andreas will send the robots to chase the planters. I think the King Frog wants to harness her power to cross over to the new world. That's why he's keeping her alive. Yeah, he can either harness Marcy's calamity power, or, again, I think he's keeping her alive as a bargaining chip, honestly. Could some episodes of season 3 be Anne, Sasha, and Marcy going back to the temples to uncharge the gems so they get their powers back? That would be a fun twist. I could see that being like a special 22-minute where like each 7 minutes is going back to one of the temples. Let's see, Domino, poor Ben. Yeah, Bessie's all alone. Bessie's all alone in Amphibia. It's so sad. I hope Bessie and Michelangelo are okay. I hope they'll be taken care of. I said Sasha specifically using calamity powers after seeing Marcy die. No, because Sasha's powers are all drained. The reason Anne's came back was because her gem wasn't fully charged. Sasha's was fully charged, so she can't get her powers back. What does the show need to do to warrant merch like toys and stuff? Become a global sensation. Or, well, Disney is doing that with the Ghost and Molly McGee. They're creating toys and merch beforehand. So, if Disney thinks a show is particularly marketable for merch, they will plan that out. But lately, they've just been going through a lot of changes. Since King Andreas wants to eventually invade all the worlds, King Andreas would have to eventually try and invade the Boiling Isles if he succeeds with invading Earth. Do you think he would be able to? Absolutely. Again, I think Owl House Amphibia crossover would be really neat. How do you think Bessie is now that her family's in another world? Probably really sad. They're not going to end season 3 on a cliffhanger. Anne's going to have to apologize to Domino too. Future of Marcy, I think she's going to live and come back, and all the girls will eventually have their calamity powers again. Frobo's head and arm had actually been in Anne's backpack. Right, so Frobo can be rebuilt. Whatever happened to Stan Pines in Amphibia? He died. He's canon dead. The curator's canon dead. Do I think Gravity Falls and Phineas and Ferb will come back? Yes, I think Gravity Falls will get a Disney Plus special eventually, and Phineas and Ferb will probably get another movie. Now that they're on Earth, do you think they'll do random rings with Amphibia? That's possible. That's true. The technology exists for random rings to happen. People think Sprig's mom, I'm like, it's been 1,000 years. Yeah, I think the author of the book is either Sprig and Polly's ancestors or one of Andreas's ancestors. Good theory. Let's see. Pog animation, yes. The animation in True Colors is great. What would happen if Marcy was the one who got her powers? I don't know how... I mean, she's probably not going to get powers till the end. Somebody says Matt Brawley's in the chat. I haven't seen him in the chat. That's pretty cool if he is, though. If you're in the chat, welcome. Dancer, and you're going to Florida with your family in 2 weeks. Nice. Florida's fun. Let's see. Lots of people saying Matt is in the chat. That's awesome. Lots of the same. Again, if a Pines wrote Dr. P's book, right, you would need to understand all of the Gravity Falls lore, which the show is not going to do that for a key plot point of the show. I don't think, anyways. Yeah, I do want to see Amphibia Random Rings. That would be really good. How would the planters react to Earth food? That's going to be great. I hope there's an episode where Sprig actually gets to try fast food. And he's like, wait, I didn't know food could taste this good. That's not bugs. I should do live streams more often. Thank you. I appreciate that. I will try and do that. Amphibia's not going to merge the two worlds, no. Gravity Falls got merchandise, but it was after the show ended. Yeah, it's only if it becomes like a pop sensation. Sasha didn't see Marcy die because Andreas threw her out the window. Andreas didn't throw Sasha out the window. Sasha would probably take care of the house and Bessie and Michelangelo. That would be sweet. Let's see. Watch the Ghost of Malamigi just flop. No, I don't think it's going to flop. Disney's going to treat it right. All right. I think we have gotten through most of the questions. Thank you so much for joining the Second Dimension's first live stream as the Second Dimension. I hope I got to one of the things that you said. If you've been watching, if you watched the whole time, thank you so much for joining the entire stream and for sticking around. I hope you had a good time. Again, hashtag Andreas Flamel on Twitter if you watched the stream. And thank you to all of you who tweeted with hashtag Amphibilove and participated in the Amphibilove campaign earlier today. I don't think we got trending on Twitter, but we still shared a lot of love for the crew, and that's what's important, is that the crew just knows how much we love Amphibia, and there's so much great fan art that I've seen and great fan works. So, yeah. Let me know what types of, once this is actually up on YouTube, let me know in the comments what types of things you'd like to hear me talk about in the live streams. And just, you know, obviously what you thought of True Colors. Maybe post your full review down there and everybody can talk about that there. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you back in Dimension 1.